Hey everybody, this is Ahdoom, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Darkest Dungeon with a ticking clock running against me. I only have about 5 hours until Crimson Court drops, and there is no way in Jiminy Cricket I'm ever going to be able to finish this game in time without taking absurd risks, and as you guys have seen if you caught the last episode, even when I don't take absurd risks, sometimes there are lethal penalties. I lost my second person. I know that's the sound of a tiny violin in the background. I lost my second person in this playthrough in a boss bash. And it was because I was sloppy, I was complacent, and it was indeed a slow and insidious killer. So to that end, I'm going to make sure that I'm focusing on just minding my P's and Q's and playing the game by the numbers. And as much as I've just said, I'm going to be really focused and going to stay on mission, I'm not going to take any risks. Look at this horrible party that I put together here. 2 Abominations, an Arbalest, and a Grave Robber. These are all people that I want to level up, even though there are some new guys coming and some new achievements coming in Crimson Court. I'm not going to feel right unless I actually finish this playthrough. Now, I might run both of them parallel for a while, depending on how much free time I have to actually make these videos. But regardless, we have a party. We have a medium veteran mission. We need to clear out 100% of room battles, and for that we'll get some gold, some quests, and a fascinating seal, which I'm not sure is going to be incredibly useful. But, in any case, it's time to press on. Let's provision up, and because we're going into the Warrens by mistake, we will need to bring a little bit of everything. It's medium. Not going to bring any additional bandages as much as bleeds are a problem. Everyone kind of has a heal aside from the Grave Robber, but again, the Grave Robber only has a heal for position. Alright, that might be the one weak point there in that scenario, but I could probably shuffle these guys around. No problem, no worries. I'm overthinking this. 2 shovels, 2 holy waters, 2 skeleton keys, 2 medicinal herbs, torch and a half, as is my want, and then food and 4. Let's get into the game. As always, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to watch these videos. I love making them. I like that some of you guys like them, some of you guys don't, and that's completely fine. This is not a game for everyone. Darkest Dungeon is a sadistic and punishing trawl through the depths of madness. And with those happy words said, let's get stuck into the game.
They breed quickly down there in the dark, but perhaps we can slay them even faster.
Alright, it's not too long a medium dungeon. Our pathing's pretty clear. We'll have to do some doubling back, but that should get us to be where we need to be. Pressing forward, we're going to avoid those books like the pox and take care of that first obstacle. Shovels are clearly going to be a problem for us, given that we've had an obstacle this early, but we'll have to see how things go, given that we are rocking some sun, cloak, and rings. Great dodge. Great dodge in that trap. I'm going to take care of this rack of blades right now, because I often just forget I even have bandages.
Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Could go for the buff this early. Wouldn't necessarily be a bad call. Just going to do a quick check here of abilities. Now I know that the battlefield bandage only works in positions 1, 2, and 3. It doesn't take on force. This Grave Robber is going to be kind of out of position. I'm not sure about what attacks these guys have that are incredibly useful in position 4, and it looks like there are none, which is just fine by me. Let's press on regardless and see how we do. Gonna skip that potential buff.
The way is lit. The path is clear.
Okie dokie. First battle in the Weald with our mixed party of Abominations. No need to worry about stress healing just at this juncture. We need to start transforming up and doing some damage. So let us see what the best call is for us. Rake is going to be relatively limited. Rage is going to do some pretty hefty damage, and again we can take out a unit in this turn, which might be preferable. And Slam has a pretty massive debuff in play. The only problem I have to ask myself is, well, the only question I have to ask myself is, what is your debuff resist? And it's pretty low. That said though, what I'm going to do is probably focus on raging out the Corpse Eater, just to deny them a turn there. Probably also drop a Toxic Dart somewhere. The question is where. Flashing Dagger is not necessarily relevant. Toxic Trickery is pretty awesome for that dodge, but I'm not going to waste this free turn on that. Let's drop a Blight. Yeah, let's drop a Blight on this Enchantress right here. And that Blight does take in a sweet and excellent kind of way. Eldritch Pull on the Grey Robber, but she dodges. again, that's just absolutely fantastic. Could try and go for a stun, and there's a pretty good chance that the stun will take and deny that unpleasant little fellow a chance to do anything. Let's take that chance. 9 damage plus a beautiful stun. That's working out fantastically. Marks are a less focus for me. No need for heals. We can do a sniper shot though. It's a good dodge. Good dodge, Enchantress. That happens. That's fair. That's fair. Stressful incantation this time on the Arbalest, and it looks like that stress will take, as well as take away from my light situation. Chance to get damage in from that stun is rapidly decreasing, so we'll transform now and start doing some damage. Stress is going to be a problem, and Jesters strike me as being a worthwhile addition to this kind of party mix, but I just don't have any of the right level, so I'm going to have to take my lumps. Let's get some more damage going on this Corpse Eater, and rinse repeat here for the kill, hopefully. Not quite enough to make a difference there, but we'll have to find a way to live. Now, getting that guarantee kill is pretty darn attractive. Alternatively, we can add an extra 4 damage of Blight onto the Enchantress, which would not be, well, might be enough to kill her. And stress is my main focus and concern, so let's do that right now. Okay, 7 hit points there, Blight is upped and she is dead next turn. Weakened Prey drops down on Fairfax the Abomination, and he is debuffed, but I think he gets a heal at the end of the combat round. And I honestly think that I can wrap things up right about now, and let's do that. Boom. Large Corpse Eater is absolutely dead. A little bit of stress reduction from the Arbalest. Let's transform, I guess, because we know this Enchantress is dead, and if we happen to get a free turn, which I severely doubt we will, no we won't, then we may as well, yeah, let's take care of some of your stress. Yep. So we do get a free turn when we transform down.
Great is the weapon.
Great.
That cuts on its own.
That shovel's going to come in handy. We have 2 turns of debuffs, or I should say 3 turns of debuffs on the way, but that's something we can very much deal with. Let's drop a key in this chest to see what treasures it holds.
Gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
Alright, our inventory is rapidly filling up, but that's exactly what it's supposed to be doing. And again, since the objective of this mission is to take all the room battles.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
First hunger check, and we're in a very good place food-wise. Have come across a trap here, and even though we only have a 60%, 60%, and 110%, let's take it on the Grave Robber. Beautifully done, and stress is reduced nicely. Torch up and press on to this room battle. Swinator, Marcher, and Spawn. Okay, so we have some stressors to worry about. And again, we can't do a great deal with first position Abominations. They seem to be at their strongest in position 2 and 3 in terms of using their abilities, which we'll have to be mindful of. Let's think about how we can actually get these guys working in our favor. Reducing the dodge and speed is pretty interesting. A rage could kill though, and that's certainly attractive to me. 21 damage, not quite enough to make that difference out. If the Abomination here though gets a chance to drop that Blight attack, what are your Blight resists? Oh, they're pretty high. Let's just take care of business. Right, 1 down and 1 damage with the highest possible damage solution made out there. Bomber drops down on position 2. Abomination. Rariton takes a little bit of stress, but that's nothing to worry about at all. Can try and go for a stun here. It's not going to be massively effective. Can try and go for a Blight, which is also not going to be massively effective. So instead we will transform, enter beast mode, and do all of the things. Starting with a... Ooh, what do you have here? 30% bleed resist. Let's try and... No, if I knock him back, he'll just be prompted to attack. So let's just do some direct damage. 14 hit points taken away. Nicely done. Next up, we can look at a sniper shot in the back row. It's not going to be killed this round, but hopefully the Grave Robber can help out there. Bit of damage taken by 2 of my party, but I'm none too concerned there. We will drop another rage in place, only 8 damage this time, and that is a little bit regrettable, but you know, them's the breaks sometimes. going for the kill here, and I think it's pretty certain, provided we get the hit, which we do. Lovely, lovely, lovely work. A bit more stress taken on this particular abomination, but the rages will not subside. No, indeedly no. Let's try and get some healing going on myself here as the Arbalest, just to try and make sure that we stay topped up. Trot Retreat does nothing, as we all know so well, and we have some decisions to make. We can hit the back row because he's in position, the size 2 enemy. We can also follow on with probably a kill right here, or we can faff. Look, let's not quite get enough there. In this chappie's turn, we're going to transform out of beast mode, I think. No, we'll just secure the kill. We'll secure the kill. That makes sense. Boom! Alright, and room cleared. Nicely done.
They can't be beaten.
And we are just jam-packed and full of inventory things. Now, I don't want to be throwing out a torch just quite yet. That could be potentially problematic. Definitely aren't going to be getting rid of my shovels anytime soon. But I need to question as to whether or not this key is going to come into use. Look, it's definitely going to come into use. Portraits I can afford to get rid of, but portraits I kind of want. Deeds, though. Deeds are irrelevant. We know deeds are irrelevant. We'll take the cash rather than the onyx, because we know that typically yields us more monies. Pressing onwards, we have a supply crate that we will find is empty. No problem there at all. Coming up to an obstacle, which is somewhat overdue. Let's clear that off and press on. One free infantry slot as we enter this room battle, in which we have a corpse eater, and a spawn. The large corpse eater is obviously the larger of the problems we'll have to face. Can start to proactively deal with stress levels on my chappies, but to be entirely already honest, the abominations are less of a concern for me stress-wise. It is really the Arbalest that I'm worried about, but that's completely fine. What we'll probably look to do is either... No, that's not going to work. Rage will definitely get me the kill, and so we will try and deny them at least one turn in this round. Done, and Dunsky. Next up, we need to look at where our best chance to get a kill is going to be in terms of attacks, and I'm thinking it's going to be Thrown Dagger. Yeah, Poison Dart isn't really going to do the job. Thrown Dagger for a chance to kill doesn't pay off, though, unfortunately. Only 8 damage dealt. Bit of stress taken on one of my unfortunate abominations, but I think I can wrap up this spawn. No! Okay, well, RNG's smiles on the unholy, it seems. Cannot get a kill with a stun, cannot get a kill with a blight. Can look at a stress heal, which would be prudent, but at the same time, we have some damage to do, which we may as well should do. Everyone gets a little bit freaked out, but that's exactly what happens every time a man turns into a beast. Rake is not a bad call, but Rage is going to be superbly better. Let's get that damage done on the front row. We can pray, goes down, minimal health is lost, and again, that doesn't worry me in the least. Let's carry on with, again, the closing and final Thrown Dagger. Done. That piggy is today's ham roast, and let's carry on with Raging Out. 17 damage. Nicely done. See if we can get that coming through again. 12 damage, not quite enough to kill, which is a bit of a regret, but let's go for the sniper shot. Might yield us a critical because he's down to 1 HP. Nope, just a standard 7, and that's the round.
Unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
Okie dokie, and that is this room and this fork cleared off handily. Now, doing a quick check on the Grave Robber. She can work pretty well as either position 1. Well, she can work well in any position if I just respec her. That's the thing with the Grave Robber. She's not amazing in position 1. In fact, she's terrible in position 1. She's okay in position 2, 3, or 4. That's how it works? Yes, that is how it works. Alright. Had an idea for what I was going to do in terms of juggling things around to mitigate stress and heals and Lord knows what else, and that idea won't work. That's what I get for thinking. That's what I get. So we're in Radiant. The Radiant stays up, and we have 2 Corpse Eaters and a Slathering Ghoul, which gives me some good opportunities, particularly because the Slathering Ghoul is so very squishy to poison. That said, I could just try and take out one of the Corpse Eaters right here and right now. Pretty good odds for an insta-kill, and I can't think of a compelling reason why an insta-kill isn't going to be the preferred option. That's why. That's why. That's okay. We can make do. Let's do a quick transform. I think the Rake attack might be the one for me. It's going to guarantee me a kill here, and it gives me a chance of a kill there. Alright. Damage didn't fall exactly where I wanted it to fall, but that's okay. It happens sometimes. Can probably go for a stun/kill on this position here, and that actually makes a great deal of sense to me. And it's just now the Ghoul who has a chance to do anything. Sniper shot just to start softening him up. Not necessarily the most compelling thing on Earth, but 80% damage plus one. And crit chance. I need me a crit chance, so let's drop that mark and make things happen. Skull Toss goes down to the Grey Robber. Only 4 damage, and you know what? That's 4 damage. I'm going to just grin and bear. Hey, and you know what? With that stun, I'm going to have to. Let's follow things on with a Rage against the Dying Light for a beautiful critical of 21, and everyone has their stress addressed to a little degree. Probably going to drop a Blight in place because that's not too shabby damage, particularly with that Blight resist dropping as a result. Man, those abilities can stack up in nasty and horrible ways. Arrow to the face, and this time for some actual damage, which I'm not going to complain about. This Ghoul is dead in his next turn, which means I should be faffing in the turns that I have left. Particularly with the stress levels I've got running on my unfortunate non-abominations. That said, let's transform out of beast mode and drop a stress heal on him. Right down to 41. And that's all the stress healing we're going to get, unfortunately.
This is how a life is taken.
Now, again, as we've decided before, deeds are really not worth our while in any meaningful way, so we can helpfully and healthily leave those behind. With that said, though, I'm going to do a quick check of scrolls, because I'm sure there is somebody in this party which has some quirks that I don't love, and you know what? Soft is one of them. Shocker is pretty bad as well. Let's try and get Brereton de-quirkified. Shocker. Nice. Okay, so your stun resistance has been limited. At this stage, I'm probably going to be taking the opportunity to camp in this empty room, so I'm going to leave this particular curio alone. Shouldn't have used that torch. That was a bit of a waste, but that's okay. I can manage regardless. Do get a scout though, thanks to the wonderful, wonderful party we have, and we don't actually need to do that room at all because we're looking for room battles. So it's going to be one of these two positions. We can probably skip it entirely. With that said, let's use this firewood and start to deal with our epic stress levels. Ooh. And do a quick look to see what we have to try and mitigate everyone's unhappiness. Yeah, Gallows Humor, that could work pretty well. Yeah, no, I'm satisfied with how that played out. Next up we have the Arbalest, who doesn't have much in the way of stress heals, just good old-fashioned heals. But that's okay, self-only, increased damage, increased stress, that's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's not amazing. Self and all companions, -10. Well, what do you have? Well, that kind of balances things out, doesn't it? Sort of. It's 3, isn't it? Okay. Don't have anything to prevent an ambush, do I? No, I don't. Alright, well, let's drop that instead then. Trading 30 stress for 20. Yep, let's do that again. Nice. And now with the remaining, yep. And we're looking in a much better place for stress, particularly given the person that I can most afford to have healing stress has the high stress.
The promise of safety.
Not too shabby as far as cleaning up certain things goes. Empty, and we're in Radiant, which is just fine. Corpse Eaters and a Slathering Ghoul, no problems and no worries at all. Let's start dealing with some stress levels here. Again, down by 11, which is just fine by me. Oh, excuse me. Look to try and get that early kill in place on a Corpse Eater. It didn't work out before, but it does work now. Next up, we have the chance to drop a stun and some damage, which is relatively compelling for me. Alternatively, I can try and get some blights going on this chappy, which is also relatively compelling to me, to be entirely honest. But let's get things going. 6 damage, the stun takes, and we're in a really good place across the board. Drop a sniper's mark just to get things started again. We have the advantage of a surprise, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be using that in their first turn. Howl drops, and the worries are picked up by the Arbalests, which is going to put her out by a turn. That said, there are ways and ways of dealing with these particular problems. Stress heals being the least of them. Let's start some Blight on the back row, or we could just try and ensure that... No, let's start some Blight in the back row. Hope that Maggot doesn't have a chance to get its kill in time. Try and drop another attack here, or... chance for stun is really reduced. Let's try it out on the Ghoul instead. 4 damage, and the stun is sadly resisted. Munch on the front row, 5 damage, but again, I'm not too worried because all I'm doing with this chap right now is healing him of stress and anguish. However, I will try and drop a bolus, which has a really remote chance to get a kill. Yeah, let's just take that arrow shot, 9 damage. Not amazing, but not too bad either. And no problems there. Skull Toss is dodged. Superb. And let's keep that Blight damage going. No initial damage, but we will take an extra 4 damage per turn for 3 turns, which is very handily done. Let's heal ourselves and absolve ourselves of a bit of stress as well. Look at trying to take down this Corpse Eater. Again, that stress is sadly reduced, and we aren't getting the kills we need to. I'm going to call this sloppy because it is. Arbalest is looking pretty unhappy yet again, but I can't do anything but wait for the crits to come in, unfortunately, and that mark has already expired. 8 damage on the Arbalest, and the Red Plague as well. She's pretty solidly impacted, to be honest. What can I do to make things go right? Well, I'm concerned about going into beast mode because I'm going to freak her out too much, but let's just do 1 more heal, down to 2. That's just fine in my books. I just don't have great damage to do on this chap. I mean, 1 more Blight and he's dead his next turn, which is just fine in my books. And then all I have to do is worry about this damnable Corpse Eater. What I will do, though, is, again, just spend a little bit of time faffing. I appreciate that I'm in turn 4 already, but I get the feeling that I can afford to take a bit of damage. Let's self-heal here. Crit for 12 as well, which is a little bit OP, but I'm happy to get rid of some of the stress I'm carrying.
The bigger the beast, the greater the glory.
And again, let's just... Can't do much with this guy. Can do something with somebody else, though, and we will. We absolutely will.
Their formation is broken.
That's a kill, and we are clear. Clear, clear, clear. Alright. Can we do anything about that Blight? No, we can't. We're just going to have to suffer that 8 damage as it comes through. Going to leave that occult scrawlings behind, because those things just always lead to pain and misery. Good scout coming through there, and I think that's going to be the last room battle. I could backtrack and try and take care of some stress levels with the... Got the torch for it. Let's go ahead and do it. Your chance to disarm is 60%. Your chance is 110. So let's do that there. Hope for any kind of cure that's going to be helping us out, and the answer is a big fat 9, which is to say no, rather than a number between 8 and 10. Carrying on. 1 more hunger check, and that's just fine by me. We get to top up a little bit of health, and I think RNGesus will smile on us. I hope. I certainly hope RNGesus will smile on us, despite our abominable ways. Torch up, and let's check out this corridor battle. A Reaver, a Gora, and a Spawn. I think we can make short work of these guys, particularly given the squishiness of... Alright, chance for an insta-kill, let's take it. Doesn't pay off, but that's how life works sometimes. Let's go into beast mode right here, right now. and at least get the chance to do some damage in. Can I get a kill on anyone? Well, absolutely, certainly, and totally yes here. Pretty good chances on the Gora. Let's take that pretty good chance. And it pays off nicely. Ball and chain on the Grave Robber for 4 damage and a stun to boot. But that's not going to be the end of things for us by any measure. Stress might be, but I think we'll be fine. Let's go for the stun or go for the stun kill. Stun kill is always preferable than a stun. If we can get those shots in, drop a heal if we can on the... we're out of range. That's right, we have to do some juggling around to get that Grave Robber in a place where position 4 is going to be of any use. No stuns, unfortunately, on the cards for us. Let's just drop a self-heal in place. Up by 6, and we're topped off nicely. Hopefully the Grave Robber isn't the butt of all of our misery, but we'll have to see how things play out. Dodge and speed debuff plus some damage, that sounds good to me, and with a critical to boot, I am absolutely thrilled with how that would play out. Ball and chain again in the back row, which will do 4 damage. We need to get some help for that poor lassie. That said, I could try and get a stun down, and the odds are pretty good, but that said, so is my stress, so let's do something about that. Gonna probably spend the Grave Robber's turn moving. Well, no, let's spend the Arbalests' turn moving. The Grave Robber can get the chance in for either a Blight or... Well, actually, let's massively buff our dodge. How about that? Since we're faffing, let's faff all the way. That buff is good for 3 turns as well, which is just fine by me. Rage could probably kill this chap. Yeah, let's do it. Not quite enough. Good. So my plan to faff holds up nicely. Let's drop Absolution one more time to try and take care of some of this stress we've built up. Again, won't work on everyone, just on the Abominations themselves, but we'll take what we can get. Ball and chain the Arbalest, and only 4 damage. That is absolutely fine by me, especially with no stun coming off there. Bit of stress because we're crossing a certain threshold of turns, and let's go ahead and take care of business. Boom.
Precision and power. Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Well, let's drop this key now. And given our successes, let's drop Holy Water. Yep. On the front 2 chappies. Back 2 chappies may have been a better choice, but we'll have to deal with that. Get rid of that speed debuff, even though it's not going to be necessarily too critical. What we will do is take on a... I think it's going to be a damage buff. Yeah, damage buff. Very nice. And let's get into the empty room, where we know we have nothing to do but pause momentarily before we press on into the battle room itself. Have the chance to clear up some traps for the XP, which will absolutely take on a 110% chance to pass. Lovely jubbly, and some stress is removed. Torch up before we enter in, and this is what I suspect will be the absolute last battle room. We'll have to see how it plays out. Arbalests is definitely have to spend a bit of time in, well, in recovery after this. Let's start things off by transforming. I think this is a good time, like beast mode. 85 stress left with the Arbalest. Let us rage, and hope for a kill. Look, that's pretty good damage, and that move resist while high. The dodge and speed debuffs will be pretty compelling. No, let's go for a rage on the Cutthroat, because if we don't get the kill, we can finish him off. And no, we do get the kill. That is just fantastic. Next up, we have the Grave Robber, and while thrown daggers are pretty compelling there. Let's take the shot. Only 16. Only 16, but I think we can probably finish her off with the Arbalest regardless. Let's consider a stun. If it takes, that will keep control of the round. Yes! Wonderful stuff, and let us finish off the Fusilier with a bolt to the face. It's so nice when I'm delivering them rather than receiving them from those damn skeleton bow coster monster demon things. Poison Dart can drop anywhere, and it's going to drop right here, right now. Getting some damage over time started in a lovely and timely way. Let's start with a Rage, or potentially even a Knockback, because debuffing your speed is going to be just fantastic. 10 damage takes, move resist, and debuff does go in place. Fantastic, fantastic work. Chain attack is going to be worthwhile. I could also faff, but let's just get some extra blight rolling down on this unpleasant chappy. 8 damage taken from blight, and point blank shot drops on the big ugly abomination. No move though, which is just fine by me, and while I could spend a turn healing, I will instead spend a turn marking, which will massively reduce his dodge down by 44, which gives me just some outstanding critical shots, I think. Let's drop a Rage in play. 30 damage, and a beautiful critical for... Alright, no more room for gold or portraits. Portraits for me right now are more valuable than herbs, and we may as well take care of that. Speed debuff, portraits, deeds, what to do. Onyx is worth the least of the lot. That said, I think I can probably go torchless if I just buff now, so let us carry on. We have one more battle room left to go, and this is going to be a cinch, I hope. Let's take care of that trap with the person best equipped to do just that. Pick up that torch and set it ablaze immediately, and press on to a corridor battle in Radiant Light. Just 2 conscripts and a corpse eater, which should be relatively light work to deal with. Considering just forfeiting, yeah, I'm gonna not use the transform abilities that we've got. Instead, we're going to drop our kills by the numbers exactly where they belong. Now, Chains doesn't have a good chance to kill these chaps. Their blight resistance is pretty low, but no, let's take the chance for a stun. Stuns are always awesome. Gorgeous stuff. Bump the Knight for 3, and that's not a concern for me, because I can probably spend every one of the remaining turns that he has dealing with stress damage, given that I'm walking into a room. Go for the kill, it's pretty guaranteed. Let's take the shot. Boom. I was going to say I could heal up, but that said I do have some food remaining that I haven't yet gotten rid of, and that could be the right call to make on that one. Poison Dart is my only avenue for damage right now in this chat. 3 damage plus 4 more to come, and a critical hit means that everyone is feeling just slightly better about themselves. Next up, we have the chance to lock him down to the stun, which we will absolutely take. 3 hit points left, and he is absolutely dead in his next turn. So let's drop a heal down on the Grave Robber.
The slow death, unforeseen, unforgiving.
Alright, let's eat this food. Grab that 1 portrait and carry on. Pretty good haul of portraits here, I hope. No, I still need them. I still need them for the... Oh, no holy water. Oh well, that's fine. Get the surprise on these guys, at least an Enchantress, a Gladiator, and a Swinator for me to have to worry about, I think is now. Now is the time to beast mode up. Nicely done. Everyone freaks out just a smidge, but that's completely fine because this guy is OP as heck. Let's go for the kill on the Gladiator. Chances of us getting it are relatively low, but we'll see what we get. Only 18 damage. We can clean him up with someone else. 4 HP left, and I think Poison Darts will definitely do the job. Flying Daggers will also definitely do the job, and why not spread the love? Boom. Oh, how nice to spread the love. Let's go for a stun if we get the chance, or alternatively we can go for a Blight again. Neither has a massive chance to take. The Blight has slightly better odds, so let us start with that right now. Blight takes. Lovely stuff. That corpse will hopefully clear itself off in due time. We can try and do a knockback, we can try and drop a mark, both pretty decent choices. No chance for killing the Enchantress, but we can winnow her down and take her out in the next turn with the Grave Robber, which is just fine by me. Stressful Incantation might well push me over the line. No? Whoa, yes, okay. Over the line. Paranoid. That affliction has taken.
The walls close in. The shadows whisper.
But we always knew Grouchet was going to need to spend some time just chilling out, you know, taking care of herself, you know, being the herd that she should have always been. And that's just fine by us. Let's rage down that Enchantress, though, to make sure there is no more stress forthcoming. Lovely stuff. Start dropping some poison darts in on the Swinosaur now that his blight resist has been reduced. Keep up the pain with a sniper's mark. Should reduce his dodge something epic. And let's keep blights rolling. Could also faff, but instead I'm going to keep the blights rolling, because blights are awesome. Doesn't look like they stack the way that it does with the Plague Doctor. And 11 damage, wow, and out of position as well. And stunned. That's kind of nuts. Let's start doing some rage. 11 damage, and this chap is down to 35. Keep things going with probably a thrown dagger with its increased damage on mark. Down to 22, and now is the time for us to... Yes, your herbs are fouled. Okay, everyone has a bit of a moment. That's fine. Sniper shot on the marked. Oh, really? 6 damage? It's pretty weak, guys. Great dodge from the Grave Robber. Some corpses die. That happens, I guess. And let's go in for the coup de grace. Boom. That should be everything.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Okay, so the question I have to ask myself is, what is worth more if I was going to throw something out? Crests are pretty handy for me at the moment. Do not need an extra 750 gold there with the Occultist. Actually, that dodge is a pretty good buff to dodge. Gonna be honest, these are worth 500 each. Okay, let's swap out portraits for crests and call this mission done. Just waiting for the game to load, and we'll do a quick tally of how we went in terms of loot, treasure, and heirlooms. Not an amazing pile of cash there, with only probably about 14k of gold procured. 36 crests, though, those will come in handy. 9 portraits and 6 busts, as well as that fasting seal, which is, you know, neither here nor there. I think if I built a party to go hungry, that might be an interesting thing to run, but with that all said, let's have a look at our upgrades. And Quirk's Creeping Cough drops, which is going to require some time in the Sanitarium. Wheeled Adventurer is a nice little buff, even though this chap is riding a bit of stress. Grouchet is freaked, literally paranoid, and Lazy Eye is going to be a quirk we have to get rid of, because Lazy Eyes on Arbalests are not a good thing. Early Riser, though, is a handy dandy given the way that I currently play. Finally, Demonomania. You decide. Both our Arbalest and our Grave Robber are up to level 4, which is just fine by me, but they are going to have to spend a few turns on correcting their various misfortunes. Now, Valiant Spirit, plus 15% virtue chance on the next quest, is something that I could take advantage of in the Darkest Dungeon level 2. Because if I can not bring a Jester along, then I can bring more damage dealers, and that is relatively attractive. Now, when I say not bring a Jester, my virtue chance is elevated, and I'm more confident that when I break, I'm going to break with a heroic quirk, a heroic virtue, rather than a negative affliction. It's a pretty good place to be. But let's not think on that too much. Just this moment, we have a party to take care of, some upgrades to make, and a whole range of problems to solve, but we will do all of those off camera. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've had a lot of fun making this. If you've liked this video, hit that like button. If you want to catch more of these videos, that Ahdoom icon there on the screen, click on that now. And to catch up on the playlist, push all the buttons that you see there. Once again, I'm Ahdoom. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.